Okay, let's see. Can you see my screen? No one can see. Okay, let's see. Screen share. There we go. Okay. Think you can see now. Let me know. Can you guys see now? Okay, perfect. I'm going to do the present. Okay. All right. So we have the volunteer orientation. I think, you know, some of you guys have been with the program for a really long time. So you could probably do this orientation for us, but it's always nice to get a refresher every year and remember why we're all here together, what our vision and mission is for this program, so that we're all kind of doing the same thing and we're, you know, staying focused on the goal. So let's see, next. So just recently we opened up 5 sites. So we originally had the Bethany Covenant Church, and I believe it started in 2016, or sorry, 2006. And it, you know, it stands strong for so many years, and we just realized that other communities could benefit from our program. And so especially during COVID, during the pandemic, with all the learning loss, it was a huge demand to open up more sites. And so we slowly have been opening up these sites, and now we're the first year open with 5 sites, and these are the start dates. So the Sedro-Woolley and Burlington sites plan to open up this week on Thursday, the 1st, and then the Bethany Covenant Church site is going to open up Thursday, the 7th. Or sorry, I think I may have gotten that wrong. I think it's the 7th, yeah. And then we're going to be opening up the Centennial Washington site after we just really get everything prepared and ready for you guys. So that will be the 12th of Monday. Sorry. Okay, and then we're so blessed to have a big, large team this year. So we have about 25 employees, which I don't have enough screen to share all of them, but these are probably the ones that you will interact with. So we have, you know, Flora Lucatero, she introduced herself, and then Yasmin is our office administrator at the Bethany Covenant Church site, and that's where our main office is. I'm the volunteer coordinator, Sophia Garcia, and then we have a new role, program assistant. So Samara, she'll be overseeing all 5 sites and just kind of helping us, being another hand for our admin team, and making sure these sites run smoothly. And then down below, we have our site coordinators, Cassandra Diaz, Bethany Covenant Church site, our new employee, Tanya, at our Centennial site. Sorry, I have some spelling errors here. Adriana at our Washington site, and Kathy Bautista at our Sedro-Woolley site, and then Carmen at the Burlington Christ the King site. So we're super excited to be able to have all of these employees part of our team, and they're all here, you know, for the same reason, to support and love on these students. All right, so for everyone to kind of be on the same team, you need to know what our mission is, what the goal is. And Children of the Valley is an after-school program, but we're so much more than that. We provide a positive, caring, supportive environment for low-income children and their families that values and respects their God-given potential while offering a variety of culture enrichment activities and academic support. Our end goal is to provide that academic support, but there are a lot of barriers sometimes that we have to reach first. We have to reach the whole student and not just focus on, oh, they have to get their grades, because our students come from different backgrounds. Each student has a different story, and in order for them to feel safe and comfortable, we have to get to know these students and provide their basic needs first. So if they're not getting food at home, we're here to provide that healthy, nutritious snack for them. If they're feeling unsafe or not understood at school, we're here to understand them and really get to know them. So our vision down below is to empower these students, and our slogan is to dream big, to inspire our students to dream big. So you guys are part of that, and I want you to remember that as you're doing these small tasks like shopping for snacks. Like, don't forget that role is important, and the snacks are to provide for our students who are in need of a healthy, delicious snack. So just keep that in mind with everything that you guys do. And we have our cornerstones of care here at COV that really set us apart from other after-school programs. We do things differently. We don't just throw the kids in a gym for the whole 3 hours and let them watch themselves. Like, we're here and we have specific goals in mind for our time with them. So like I said, our academic assistance is a big key part. And we work closely with the school district, with the school counselors and their teachers to make sure that we're doing what's needed to get these students to grade level, because a lot of the students coming here are below grade level. And that's where our volunteers come into play. You guys help with our homework tutoring, and you partner usually one-on-one or maybe one volunteer to 2 students. We like to keep them small groups. And let's see our next slide. So our next cornerstone of care is our social emotional learning. Like I said, we need to reach these students we need to reach them emotionally and check in with them first before we can expect them to do a whole worksheet of math. So when the students arrive, our staff meets with them and does an emotional check-in with them. And we also are implementing positive action with the students as a curriculum that's based on social emotional learning. So when you're working with a student, just keep that in mind, that we are kind of focusing first on their well-being and their emotional state before we expect them to, do these hard math problems. So another aspect of our program is our enrichment activities. We love to be able to give these students opportunities that they wouldn't otherwise have. And in the past, we've done sewing club, cooking club. We've had the Skagit Valley baseball team come in and teach a baseball clinic. This is really an area where we love to get our volunteers involved. If you have a specific skill or hobby that you'd love to share with our students, we would love to have you do that. And if you don't, our staff has curriculum in place to prepared for the students on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. And Wednesdays are early release for the Mount Vernon School District. So we do a lot of those activities on that day. And each month is a specific theme for the month. So this month it's mostly just getting to know you, getting to know the kids, and asking the kids to think a little bit deeper and what's their favorite of all the things, what's their favorite color, what's their favorite animal, all that kind of stuff. And maybe someone's never really asked those questions of them, and it could be an opportunity for them to get to know themselves as well. And finally, we also provide family support, which is another aspect that makes us different than other after-school programs. And in the past, we give like Thanksgiving baskets. We do a big gift donation for Christmas. And we've been able to financially support some of these families that are really in need. And, like I said, there are these barriers that we have to meet first in order to reach these students and care for them. So we have our different volunteer positions, and our biggest volunteer position is homework tutoring. Like I said, we try to provide one-on-one tutoring for each of the students, especially the ones that are really below grade level and needing that extra support. And we want you to partner with the student and just really help them, walk them through their 20 minutes of reading that they do, and then their homework is provided from school. If they don't have anything from school, which a lot of teachers aren't giving homework right now, the staff is prepared with academic activities such as flashcards or academic games or worksheets. And then, like I mentioned, the next position is enrichment activities. So if you guys think about this, and you come in being a homework tutor, but you really want to share a special skill, please speak up, reach out to one of our staff members, and we'd love to have you share something, even if it's a one-time thing. That would be really appreciated. And any of these jobs you could overlap. Like sometimes our snack prep volunteers do snack prep first, and then they go into homework tutoring. So if you want to give more than just an hour, we're so grateful for that. So just let me know, reach out if you feel like on your heart there's something else you want to be able to offer. And then we have our snack shoppers, the ones who they go to Costco and they buy the snacks and deliver it to our sites. And then on the end, we have van driving at our Bethany Covenant Church site. We offer transportation, but it's limited because we only have a van. So those students who really need the ride home, parents don't have a car, or there's no way for them to get home to pick up the students at 6. We offer that. And then our clubs, like I mentioned, on Wednesdays, if you want to do some sort of club on a weekly basis, like every week we're going to teach tennis to the students or sewing. And then our last position that we just recently added was community outreach and recruiting. Because we now have 5 sites, we need to be able to reach these new communities and just get, spread awareness about our program and recruit volunteers. So if even you'd like to pass out a flyer at your church, we'd love to send you a flyer, or while you're doing your snack shopping, if you want to pass out my business card. I've heard that the cashiers ask, oh, what are you doing with all those groceries? So it's a good opportunity to kind of spread awareness about our program. So because there's only one me and there's 5 sites, we are working together with all of the site coordinators and the activity coordinators to kind of help manage all of the volunteers and be there for you guys. So my job is to do a lot of the outreach and recruiting. I do the beginning part of background check, hiring, all the application, and I create the schedule and I do orientation. And then we do provide professional development, which we'll have more opportunities for later throughout the year that we have planned. And especially with our teen volunteers, they need that extra support. And then I also help with volunteer appreciation. Our site coordinators are kind of the big boss there on a daily basis. So they'll be doing like the on-the-job training with our volunteers who just start with the program. They'll give you a tour of the program and help you get it set up on your first day. And then our activity coordinator is basically the teacher in the class with you. So there's someone leading the class, and then you're kind of there partnered with one student to help them. And we really want you to build a relationship with the activity coordinator. We want you to feel comfortable talking to them, asking questions. If a student is acting up, call that teacher and say, what should we do? And the answer is always, the activity coordinator deals with behavioral issues. It's not the volunteer's responsibility. So just have that in mind. And we did get a lot of your feedback. We do like a mid-year and end of year evaluation, and we received your feedback and we really take it to heart, and we want to implement as much of it as we can. But we don't want to wait until the end of the year to get that feedback. So we really want you to feel comfortable talking to any of us, and especially with that activity coordinator, because you're there with them. So if you see something or you have a concern, bring it up to them then and there. So we'll go into the handbook. And our new volunteers should do orientation on their own. So I'm not going to read every single thing verbatim, but I do want to go through this briefly with you guys and kind of touch base on anything that I haven't covered already. So this first page goes through our mission and kind of what sets COV apart, which we went through. And then we have our, a couple of years ago, I did a volunteer engagement training, and we came up with a volunteer purpose statement and kind of benefits. Why would volunteers want to come to our organization? There are hundreds of organizations that you could spend your time at, and we want to set apart something different. And we want to provide a place for you to really use your unique skills to help our students. And that's one of my favorite parts of my job, is that if you dream up of something or you have a idea for something, we most likely can make that happen. We offer personal growth and development with our ongoing training. And we want our group of volunteers to reflect our students and reflect our community, which is diverse. And so we have a huge age range from middle school all the way up to retired seniors, retired employees that volunteer here at COV. And yeah, so there's lots of benefits to volunteering, such as it gives, a lot of times I hear volunteers tell us that they feel like they benefit more than our students. They leave happy at the end of the day. They want to come each week and they're so excited. So there's lots of benefits in that kind of aspect, but we also do provide, you gain work experience. You can use this as a letter of recommendation or references, and you can count your volunteer hours towards your school, either high school or college. We've also done internships in the past. So if that's something you're interested in, please contact me. And then through this, we have each of the school districts calendars. So we run our program on the school district schedule. So anytime there's a holiday or school closure, COV will also be closed. And then we'll go into depth a little bit for each of the positions. So snack prep, we got a lot of feedback from you guys that you want more of a snack prep manual. So I'm working on that. But our food program is funded by the government, which means we have to follow their guidelines. So the staff will create a menu based on the guidelines that we have to follow. So this is basically I call it like the food pyramid, but it's in a chart form. So these 4 categories, we have to serve 2 out of the 4, and 1 of the 2 have to be a grain. So if there's ever a time when we have to do a substitute, for whatever reason, we're short of something, please ask a staff member before just grabbing an additional thing, because we do have to be specific on the amount that we serve and what item that we serve. And let's see, we do ask that our snack prep volunteers have a food handler's license. So if you don't already have one, we'll ask you to get that, or at least be working with someone else that has their license. And we post that up in the kitchen. And we're gonna be a little bit more diligent about following those guidelines in the kitchen. We do get visited by the food board, so we want to make sure that we're first being safe for us and the kids, and then also, following those policies. So our homework and reading time, what that will look like, you'll come in, a lot of the sites do their homework tutoring around 5. So that's towards the end of the day. You'll come in and you'll get partnered with one student, and we try to have you partner with that student every time you come, so that you can build a relationship. And it's really good to do kind of a check-in with the student before you get started. Maybe they're having a bad day and they're just not quite ready to do the homework. You kind of need to know that before you start, get out a book and start reading with them. So take, a couple minutes to talk with the students, see how their day went. And then we'll move on to 20 minutes of reading. And depending on the age group that you're with, if you're with the younger kids, kindergarten, first, second, they may not know how to read. So it will be you reading to them, but we really want them to improve their skills. So if you read the whole book to them every single time you come in, they're not really getting that practice. So please go slow and help them sound out words, and help them, guess words, or help them figure out different letters, ask them comprehension questions after every couple pages. And then with our 4th and 5th graders, they should be reading to you. And again, you'll still want to pause to ask questions about the book, make sure they understand what they're reading. And at the end of reading, a lot of the students will have a reading log that they need to be completed, and our volunteers can sign off on that. So if you read with a student, please make sure that you do fill that out, because that's how they get credit at school. So we don't want them coming to our program doing all the work, but then we forget to sign that and their teacher thinks that they didn't do the work. And then after reading, we'll do homework. And like I said, it's whatever homework's provided from school. And every single day, each student does have to do some sort of academic something during that time. So they don't just get free time if they don't have a homework. So please ask the activity coordinator if the student doesn't have anything, and they'll kind of come up with something, either flashcards or a game, educational game. We went through enrichment activities a little bit already. And then when you're working with our students, we really want you to be positive encouragement instead of criticism. All of our students, like I said, might be below reading level or grade level. And so we want to encourage them. We're here to love on them and not make them feel worse about, like, they already know that they're struggling. We don't need to make them feel worse. And some of the programs that we implement at COV to kind of help with behavior and help with our, positive environment is, it's called PACS, Good Behavior Game. Positive Action is one we're doing this year, Zones of Regulation, and Growth Mindset. So if you don't know about these already, it would be good to do some research, and I can always send you some information. So down below here is an example of the zones of regulation. So when you get partnered with a student, it's always good to, go through these and ask the student, which zone are you in? And so green zone here is where we want our student to be. That means they're ready to learn and they're, ready to do their homework. They're in a good mood. But if a student says, I'm in a blue zone, I'm feeling sad, tired, then maybe we ask the activity coordinator, does this student maybe need to take a break until they, feel a little bit better? Maybe they need to take a 5-minute nap and then they'll, snap back and be ready to do homework. And then yellow is if they're kind of a little bit in a hyper agitated state, or they're overly excited. And then red is they cannot control their emotions, they're frustrated, they're angry, they're acting out. And then down below we have some tools that they could use to help get them back to a green level. And in each of the classrooms, we have some teachers call it a calming corner or a break table, but it's just a space for the student to go and kind of work through one of these tools. So if they need a minute to draw their feelings and tell you, oh, something happened last night, and they've just been thinking about it, they can have that time to do that. But really, it should only take a couple minutes for the student to do whatever tool they choose and then be ready to go back in a green zone and be ready to do homework. But if you are partnered with a student and they have to be in the break table for a longer amount of time, we might just partner you with someone else for the day. So just be aware of that sometimes kids have those days where they need to be in their break table a little bit longer, and we need to give them that space until they're ready. So here at COV, we don't have like traditional rules, don't do that. It's a list of like, don't do this, don't do that. but we have core values. So we ask that our students and our volunteers follow these. So respect, responsibility, honesty, safety, and purpose. And then our COV motto is we're going to be posting it in each of the classrooms: respect myself, respect others, respect this place. So like I said, we really don't want our volunteers doing any discipline, but if you do need a quick verbal check-in with that student, you can let them know, like, you know, are you respecting yourself when you're saying that you're dumb and you can't read? Or are you respecting this place if you're throwing the toy against the wall? That's a quick reminder that you can do, but anything other than that, we really want you to go to the staff to handle the situation. So like I said, we want you to build a relationship with these students, and we want them to feel comfortable with you. So that may take time, but these students know that we get volunteers. So a lot of times they're just super excited and they want to know all about you. And the relationship a lot of times is easy to build. But because you build a relationship with a student, we want you to be as consistent as you can. So when we are making the schedule, if you agree to be there every Tuesday, then we expect you to be there and be there on time, because these students are relying on you and they're super excited. Tuesday's the day that, you know, Miss Jackie comes, and they'll be heartbroken if you don't show up. So just remember that when you're working with our students. And our health and safety policy, it's updated a little bit since then, but we do ask that all volunteers are vaccinated, and you can wear a mask if you feel more comfortable. And we could possibly even ask the student that you're working with, if you feel more comfortable to have them wear a mask, we could probably arrange that. But we do try to have a safe environment. So if you're not feeling well, even if it's a cold or, you know, anything like that, please notify us, and we'd ask that you just stay home for the day. We don't want, you know, any of the kids or staff or families getting sick. And the policy, I believe this is still current, but if you do confirm have COVID-19, or you're exposed to someone with COVID-19, I believe you have to not volunteer for 5 days in order to come back. And then this first couple months, we'll be doing a lot of emergency scenarios with the kids: fire drill, earthquake drill, and I'm sure you guys have done your fair share of those. So just be aware of that as our kids are learning those too. And I would suggest that you ask on your first day, you know, where's the meetup spot if in case we get evacuated. And I'll make sure that our site coordinators know where that is and they share that with you. At most of our sites, we do, one of our policies is having the door locked while we're in the classroom or in the area, just so people passing by can't walk through the door. Our site is you know, we don't allow people to just pop in, or it's not a drop-in volunteer program. We do have to have all of our volunteers or anyone working with the student background checked. So if you have a friend who wants to visit the site, it needs to be arranged by me or another staff member, and they would have to basically shadow the staff member the whole time. Let's see. So we have a sexual and physical abuse prevention. We are mandated reporters. So a couple of our policies, we do not allow any staff member or volunteer to be one-on-one with a student in a private setting. So we most likely would never ask you to, take one student and, go down the hall to the bathroom with them. We would need either to be in a group setting or be with one other student, one other adult in order to, be in that kind of situation. And we ask that all of our volunteers and, children are in a well public area, that you're not, going off into a private area, or, even being under a blanket or in a corner by yourself, nothing like that. We ask that you don't show favoritism to any student. We're not giving gifts to specific students. If we do accept donations, but we would like it to go through either Flora or one of our admin, so that we can disperse it equally to the students, or privately find those students who are most in need and give that gift to them, instead of, making a big, display of it. And then our confidentiality, actually, I think I missed a couple things. I wanted to go over our cell phone policy, because we don't allow volunteers to be on their cell phone in front of the children. We don't allow pictures of the children, or we don't allow volunteers to take pictures of the children. So we ask that you just either turn your phone off while you're here, put it in a pocket, in a backpack, not a visible place. Because if a student sees a cell phone, they're most likely going to want to grab it and play with it. And we just don't want, we want to keep your private information safe. And so if you do have to make a phone call, emergency or something like that, we ask that you step out of the room, let the volunteer know, or the activity coordinator know, I'm going to step out, make this quick phone call, and then when you're done, you're welcome back. But our policy is just best to keep cell phones out of the place, that our children can't see. Our staff do have to have their phone with them, but they're still also following that policy. We're not texting the whole time when we're with the children. We answer if it's an emergency, but we try not to have it in front of them. And then lastly, our confidentiality policy. These students may share things with you that are sensitive, things that's going on at home. And a lot of time the staff might already know, but if you feel like it's something that's concerning the students being, in an unsafe situation, or anything like that, please let us know immediately. But if it's just general information about that student, or, we want to keep them and their family, their privacy safe, and not telling our friends or other volunteers, oh, guess what, so and so got an F on their, on their paper or whatever. We just want to keep their information private. So that's a lot of information that we went through so far, and we have just a little bit left. So as far as like what's appropriate and what's not, we kind of have a list here. These kids do need love and some hugs and that kind of stuff. And if you're comfortable with that, or if you're not, let us know. Now I think with the COVID policy being a little bit more lenient, like we can do a side hug or, a pat on the back or something like that. But we don't want to do anything inappropriate. no long hugs or, you know, no, we ask the volunteers don't exchange personal information, that we don't add any students on our social media or mention their name on social media. We try to be very private with them and their information. And then absolutely no patting on the bottom, no no speech that could be viewed as humiliating, threatening, degrading, or frightening, no corporal punishment, um, no touching of personal areas, um, obviously no intimate or romantic conduct with our students or showing anything on your phone to students. So let's see what's next. So we want so the volunteer performance, we ask that all of our volunteers treat this as you would a job. So you're showing up on time, you're showing up on the days that you agree to, and you wouldn't show up under the influence or have anything illegal with you. And our spaces are no smoking areas in any of our spaces. So just treating this like you would a job. And then our dress code for our volunteers, since you're going to be working with our students, you're going to be playing with them. You're okay wearing comfortable clothes, but it needs to be appropriate and modest. So we're not showing off our midriff or spaghetti straps or cleavage or anything like that that could be, deemed inappropriate. And if you have a question, please ask us before you show up, or if honestly, in my opinion, if you have a question about it, then just don't wear that and choose something a little bit more modest. So our volunteer schedule, we use a program called Volgistics, and it helps us create a schedule and also allows you to remotely clock in and out. So each of the classrooms will have a big QR code when you first enter, and you'll use your cell phone, and you'll put your camera on the QR code, and then the link will pop up and it will allow you to clock in using the last 4 digits of your cell phone number. So if you're confused about that, you're like, wait, I didn't get a PIN number. It's just the last 4 digits of your cell phone. And if you're having any issues clocking in and out, please ask a staff member, because they could also log in on their cell phone or their laptop. But we do need to keep track of hours. We report them at the end of the year. We have to use those hours in when we're applying for grants, and then especially for those students who need school credit, keep track of those. And we do volunteer appreciation things with those hours. So just please be diligent about keeping track. And those positions who are, remote, like our volunteer snack shoppers or the ones doing community outreach, I can send you a direct link to do it either on your cell phone or a laptop. So when you go to Costco, you'll click the link, clock in, and then when you drop off the groceries, you'll click the link again and clock back out. All right. Let's see. So for those of you who don't know much about our program, everything is, all of our funding is raised by donations or grants. So we do quite a lot of fundraisers throughout the year, and we'd love for you to be involved in them, help out, or just even attend. So just be on the lookout for those coming up. And then, like I mentioned, we'll have lots of training opportunities, and this is kind of a tentative list of when we'll be doing some of these events for you to do some extra training. I'm going to be reaching out to some math specialists and reading specialists, and our next training will be that. So if you're partnered with a 4th and 5th grader and the math is different than when you used to go to school, first, you can always reach out to me, and we have some online resources that you could do anytime, but we will be doing an official training at some point to go over that. So these are all our sites. And then if you want to save my information in your phone and contact me if you have any questions. So I'm gonna go back to the, it's loading. Go back to the presentation. I just have a couple more slides. But for now, does anyone have questions? You can unmute yourself at this time. Is a good time to ask questions if you have any with the handbook. Anything that we might be missing that you want us to cover?
Sophia, I noticed that you said the 7th is this opening date for, and that happens to be a Wednesday, not a Thursday.
Okay, that's what I was confused with.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Yes, the 7th is a Wednesday. Thank you. I got confused because this Thursday we're starting, and then it's next Wednesday for the Mount Vernon site. So, yeah, thank you. We kind of went over the scheduling and time clock and request off. Each month I'll send an email out if you guys have any time that you need to take off from your regular scheduled, volunteer time, but feel free to reach out to me anytime if you need to take some time off. We would appreciate a head's notice so that if we do need to replace someone in your position, we have enough time to do that. And then this is the QR code that I was talking about where you can clock in and out. So you'll hold your cell phone over that QR code, and most updated smartphones the link will pop up, and then you'll be able to click on it and go to the website. All right, I think that's everything that I have for you. Does anyone else have questions? Feel free to take a screenshot of this if you need to save my information in your phone. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
These are probably, are they mixed English speaking and Spanish speaking kids?
Yes, most of the students speak English. There's a handful of students who only speak Spanish, but they're in school and they're learning to speak English. And almost all of our staff speak Spanish. So if you have any issues, the staff will be able to communicate with them.
Okay, are there kids beyond those language groups at the Centennial School?
At the Centennial School, we do have some students that speak different dialects of Spanish, like Mixteco, but we do again have, I believe we have some employees who speak that dialect and then can communicate.
Okay, so the ones, Madison School is a duolingual school, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Duolingo. So, I mean, I'm just wondering if I am going to be reading in Spanish, which I can, or in English with the kids at the Centennial School.
At the Centennial School is not a dual language program, so you'd most likely just be reading in English, and that's the goal. Is if they do only speak Spanish, the goal is for them to learn English. So it's great to be partnered with, someone who can help them learn the language and, read in English. Okay. And yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Sophia.
Yes.
When am I going to get my order for?
Your
Costco?
shopping list?
Yes,
I'm working with the staff and I will be sending it out tomorrow.
good show.
Yeah, thank you for your patience. We have a lot of pieces to put together to get these programs started. So we're getting everything figured out and we'll be sending out that shopping list tomorrow to all of our snack shoppers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sophia, how are we doing with the supply drive? Do we still need items?
We actually received a large donation from Christ the King Church, and they said they had like 110 boxes of supplies, which we're trying to figure out if we can take a little bit of that, but we don't have space to store that. So we have the supplies, but it's an
Wow.
overage of how much we need. So I'm gonna be making a phone call, later today, tomorrow to figure that out. So hopefully our need is met.
Very good. Okay, I'm just thinking of basics like crayons and, things that they use in the classroom too.
Yeah, we have been getting school supplies from the drive that we've been, the donation drive that we've been doing, but
Yeah.
hopefully with the large donation that we're receiving, we should be able to get everything
Okay,
covered.
what about books?
Books, I'd have to double check with the staff.
I have a
I
couple.
can-
I have a couple of boxes of books that have been donated. So
Okay, yeah. The one thing with donated books is we want to make sure that they're,
Yeah.
sometimes we'll get stuff donated and it's either not relevant or not reading level.
appropriate.
Or
Yeah.
inappropriate. So
Yeah.
just, look through it and make sure if you are going to donate something that it's appropriate for the situation. Thank you. Anything else before we let you guys go? All right, thank you guys so much. We're super excited to have you part of the program. Phoebe, did you have a question?
No, I just saying goodbye.
Oh, okay, perfect. All right, thank you so much. And again, I am going to be working most part-time from home and then part-time in person during the program hours. So I'll be visiting each of the sites. So I will say hi and check in with you guys. And again, please don't wait to ask your questions or give us your feedback. Give it then and there in the moment. But thank you again, and we'll look forward to seeing you in person.
And
Thank you.
Sophia, if you just let me know when you and I can get together to discuss further
Yes.
the
I will
criteria
send-
for, sure, you bet.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
All right,
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.